Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning we go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video, and one person's question will help me make the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this, and I didn't, make sure you put repeat question and we'll get moved to the top. And we've been getting a ton more questions lately, so even if you put repeat question, it's not a guarantee. You just got to put repeat question again, and I will eventually get to you, I promise. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. But before we get started, we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is Collectr. This app is the best of the best when it comes to tracking your collection. No other app even compares. They're constantly trying to improve and add new cards, boxes, and features. They just added a brand new one that a ton of people have been asking for, and it is the Mark is Sold. So now people can actually track their realized gains plus transactions. Version 1 is out now. I think version 2 comes out in a few weeks. Then you'll actually be able to check out the charts and explore all the data. So let us know down below if there's anything you want them to add or work on, and they'll get going on that ASAP. So definitely check them out. I have all the links in the description. And I do have to mention real quick that in the next few weeks, I'm going to be dropping a little bit of PokeBeard merch. For the very first time online, I'm collabing with another company because I really love their art style, and I feel like they have the coolest looking clothes in the entire hobby. So definitely check that out when that gets dropped. All right, first question is from Max Jackson. PokeBeard, aka the Pokemon Ric Flair Dragonair. Woo. Do you think this release of the Moltres set with the stamped Moltres SIR promo will help or hurt the actual Moltres SIR? I just pulled it last week and was stoked, but now I don't know how to feel. So the card is actually crashing down in price right now. So it started off around 130, kind of leveled out around 155. And then this is the only SIR in Destined Rivals that was going up in price. It went up to 180, and now last sold 132, 125, 130. So a ton of people are panic selling because, you know, the news of the new promo. So if you guys do not own this card, the promos, you know, super good news because now you can get this card much cheaper, and then you can also just get the promo. But if you guys just bought this card, that definitely sucks. You know, we're all shocked that they just reprinted the SIR. But like I said, if you don't own it, this is great news. But I'm super curious on what the price is going to end at. In my opinion, I feel like this is going to be maybe a $70, $80 card. That would be my guess. It looks like it's leveling out a little bit around 130-ish, but you never know. Once we actually get the promo in hand, this card could go down even more. But I could see it being a little bit cheaper than like the Milotic. And then for the promo, is it going to be a $20, $30 promo? Kind of like how the Mew EX was for $151 for the longest time? Or is it going to be a, you know, $40, $50 promo? Kind of like how Mew EX is now. So yeah, let me know down below what you guys think the prices are going to be at for this card and the promo. And then also, you know, are you guys happy about this? Do you guys own this card yet? Because I technically do not own this card. So, you know, I'm kind of happy that now I can get it a little bit cheaper, because I have a feeling it's going to go even cheaper than this. And then also, I love good promos. I really hope people keep hating on this Moltres EX UPC and the Moltres promo is super cheap, because I would love to stock up on a ton of those promos because the card art is insane. If I can get this card for $10 or something like that, if the promo does get that cheap, you know, I'm totally down to buy a bunch of them. All right, next question is from X Joric. Question for collectors. Would you guys rather have modern cards or have them in PSA 9s? So let us know down below. Would you guys rather have a clean modern card that probably wouldn't grade a 10 or a PSA 9? Because they're honestly around the same price. Now, if you go to a show, you talk to any vendor, they're pretty much going to turn away every PSA 9 unless it's like a super popular card or, you know, vintage. That's a completely different story. A PSA 9 for vintage, you know, can be so good. But for modern, I'd say most people are going to stick to a PSA 10 or a clean just because it is a brand new card. So they, you know, kind of feel like it shouldn't even be a PSA 9, but, you know, our print quality is not the best. It's not Japanese. And then too, if you actually look on eBay and you look at PSA 9, like recently sold, a ton of them sell. You know, if you go to a card show, like I said, you're not going to be able to sell a lot of PSA 9s, but on eBay you can. There's 513 Zapdos EX PSA 9s that sold compared to 432 10s. But then if you go check raw, there's 1,482 raw Zapdos EX English cards that sold. You know, this is on eBay. So raw is definitely king. It's the most accessible. And in my opinion, if you guys really, really love Pokemon and you want to get as many Pokemon cards as you can, I think buying raw is smarter. Especially, you know, you can get it a lot cheaper than like a PSA 9 sometimes and a PSA 10. You know, you could spend $5,000 and you can get, you know, whatever, 10, 15 PSA 10 cards. Or I could get hundreds and hundreds of beautiful cards that I've been chasing for, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So that's why I've always been more of like a raw collector instead of a graded card collector, because you just get so many more cards. But all right, next question is from King Dola. Do you think Paldea Evolved booster boxes will double in value in the next 3 years? And what price do you think 151 booster displays will be in the same time frame? So it's so tough to just guess prices. But in 3 years, you know, if Pokemon stays pretty strong and consistent, we'll probably have a few dips here and there. I could definitely see this thing doubling in price. 3 years is quite a while. And the 151 booster bundle display, you got to think this is still a pretty new product. We haven't had booster bundles forever. And 151 is going nuts. Last sold for the booster bundle display is $1,250, $1,200. You know, I could easily see this thing also doubling in price too, maybe even more. Again, these are just complete guesses. This thing could be $5,000 in 3 years. You know, we just really do not know. Next is from @PokeFam. Are regular ETBs worth investing in over time, or should I just save and get booster boxes? So since the market is so crazy right now, if you can get a regular ETB from the store, that's probably one of your safest best bets right now, besides getting, you know, Pokemon Center ETBs from the Pokemon Center website or booster boxes from there also. Because, you know, a lot of the booster boxes right now are just so expensive. So if you can definitely snag a couple regular ETBs, that is definitely one of the best purchases you can get right now at MSRP, obviously, but easier said than done, I know. But if you did like a big ranking of all the sealed products, regular ETBs are probably 4th, you know, right behind UPCs and then Pokemon Center ETBs and booster boxes. So they're very solid. I would probably just stick to the better sets if you are going to get any of them, just so you don't have a lot of dead money just sitting there, because the regular ETBs will go up, but if it's not of a very popular set, they're going to slowly go up in price. And then too, there is one thing going for regular ETBs, not so much right now because the market is so crazy and all about investing and booster boxes and Pokemon Center ETBs, but when stuff gets really expensive, the regular ETBs sell a little bit more than the booster boxes and PC ETBs. So we got Lost Origin, regular ETB here. So total sold, 1 year snapshot, 2,985 for the regular ETB. Here's the Pokemon Center ETB, 1 year snapshot, 367. And then here's the booster box, 1 year snapshot, 1,091. So, like I said, this isn't the case for all of these sets right now, especially in the Scarlet and Violet era, because so many people are all about the booster boxes and Pokemon Center ETBs. But in regular Pokemon times, the regular ETBs sell very easily. You just got to think they're just so much more affordable and accessible to most people. Next is from a member at the Red Diamond. I wasn't a collector when Black and White era existed, but after watching you for a while now, I'm curious, what's your favorite set from the Black and White era? So that would be Plasma Storm. It's got these shiny Charizard, shiny Blastoise, gold secret rares, and it has the blue full art Plasma, Lugia, and Articuno, which I feel like that's the best 2 Pokemon you could possibly choose to put with that blue full art background, besides maybe Suicune. So big fan of that. Even the Victini's nice. And then also, I love Legendary Treasures, the Radiant Collection. You know, even all these regular cards, they got a really cool reverse holo on them, and they look so nice. I have like 3 of these sets completed because it's just such a fun set, and it used to be dirt cheap to complete. Now it's pretty expensive. All right, next question is from Bessie2K. Hey Beard, I want to collect Gen 4 starters, either buy singles or try ripping for some. What sets and singles would you recommend? Thanks. So I'd never try ripping for a specific card. You're just almost guaranteed to lose money doing that. But if you go check out Diamond and Pearl, like the base set, they got the level X's of the 3 Gen 4 starters I think are super cool, and they're actually going up in price right now. So I think that is a very solid pickup. Otherwise, Empoleon has one of those gold secret rares that I was just talking about in the Black and White era. This is from Plasma Freeze. Very nice card. I'm telling you, in person, these really, really pop. The gold borders, like this picture just does not do justice. But honestly, those are some of your best bets. Empoleon does have an alternate art. But yeah, these guys do not really get a ton of love if you really go look at all their cards. It's kind of crazy. Next is from Lurkin Lowry. Hey, my strawberry blonde, golden blonde, fire truck red, 3-toned, long bearded, interweb poke elite friend and fellow nerd. Do you have a favorite pack art or pack art set? Mine is OG Team Rocket and Gyarados pack art is my favorite. I do. So first edition, you know, base set. This is probably the most nostalgic because I've been chasing this for, you know, almost 30 years now. But my favorite pack art was Neo Revelation. You know, the Suicune pack art. I got like 15 of those packs. But then Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Unleashed came out. Check out these pack arts. You know, we got the Suicune, Entei, Raikou, and then a Crobat. All right, next is from Kid Mods. Hey, Mr. Beard, love the content. What do you think of the Psyduck Japanese Munch promo 2018 in a PSA 10? I've had it for a couple years now. The pop report is very promising and has appreciated very well over the last year. Time to sell or hold for a while longer. Me and my kid love meeting you at Card Party. You're such a humble, chill dude. Thank you very much. We'll be going to Seattle's card party, and I got some news. I'm going to be doing a lot more there. Not 100% sure yet, but I'll let you guys know. But I am very nervous. That's all I got to say. But all right, let's check out this Psyduck card. In my opinion, you have one of the grails in modern Pokemon right now. I would definitely hold on to it a little bit longer. Just keep riding the wave, because you never know when it's going to end. This hype could continue for a whole nother year or two, to where this card could double in price. You just never know. You know, if it starts leveling out hardcore and like the whole market starts cooling off, then that might be a decent time to get rid of it before it does go down in price. But I would probably just keep it. It's such a cool card, and with a low pop, you know, it's a win-win. Next is from @BrokePokemon. What do you think about the promo for Prismatic SPC? Currently it has a gem rate with PSA around 28%. I just got a 10 graded with them. Do you think it's one of those cards that will shoot up, and is it a good hold? Thank you. I do. I think it's a very solid card. And, you know, with it being a promo, 28%, you know, gem 10 rate, I feel like that's pretty solid. Next is from @RoxyBoxy69. Hey, what were you thinking when that kid came up to you at the card show, bought that $90 Pikachu, and just told you to give it away? I was pretty shocked. I was also shocked. I should have, like, you know, not even taken the money, but I was honestly so shocked that I didn't even think about that till like 20 minutes later. But yeah, that dude is so nice. Next is from @PokeRehab. Hey, great beard of the North Star. I traded 2 Pokemon Go PC ETBs and a Shroud of Fable for the Alt-Art Blaziken. Good deal, or would you have passed? So I try not to trade my sealed for cards, but you know, at least those are some of the worst sets, even though the Pokemon Go are PC ETBs, which, you know, will do pretty solid. So I don't know. If it's a card that you've wanted for a very, very long time and you need it for your collection, then it's a solid deal. But just try not to trade your sealed for cards, because cards can go up and down. Blaziken could be $200 next year. You never know. Next is from @TurboFirepacks. Great bearded one. What are your thoughts on the Pokemon Presents? Are you excited for Legends ZA, and do you prefer Switch Pokemon games versus the classic style we grew up with? Love the content as always. It was pretty solid, and I'm definitely more of the classic style. I just love how tough it is, and it just feels like you're grinding, especially to like level up your Pokemon for those OG games. It just takes a while, and it really feels like you're putting in the work compared to some of these new games where it's just a lot easier, but I still play every single Pokemon game. Next is from @KNice. Should I move my 9 prismatic regular ETBs and invest in 3 to 4 prismatic Pokemon Center ETBs instead? That probably would not be a terrible idea, to be honest. As long as you're getting really clean Pokemon Center ETBs, and you still have a very good chance of finding regular prismatic ETBs, you know, at Walmart or Target and stuff. And yes, we could definitely get a restock on Pokemon Center ETBs, but they go so fast, and now they limit us to 1. And even if they go back to 4, it's still not a ton of them. Compared to, you know, if you just check Walmart or Target in the next couple years, you could definitely accumulate a decent amount of prismatic ETBs. All right, next is from @Robert. Would you rather have 3 Paldean Fates booster bundles and 3 Crown Zenith ETBs, or 4 Crown Zenith ETBs? So that's a tough one, because I love having at least 4, because you have a lot more options. If we're talking super, super long term, and it really depends on reprints, because we have not really gotten a lot of Paldean Fates reprints. You know, let's say we don't get any more Paldean Fates reprints. The booster bundles might be a better option, but again, if you look at Shining Fates, it got reprinted a ton. Hidden Fates got reprinted a ton. You know, I'm still expecting a giant reprint of Paldean Fates, but in this market right now, it's not going to make a difference, because Paldean Fates is worth so much, to where even if it drops in half, it's still worth a good amount of money. So again, this is going to be on you. If you're super long term, it might be okay, and like I said, it really depends on reprints. But in my opinion, I love to have 4 Crown Zenith ETBs is super nice, because you know, 5 years down the road, you could sell 1 of them, and then wait another 10, 20 years, you could sell 2 of them, and then you could pass 1 down to your kid, or whatever it is. You just have more options. All right, next question is from @ChangeORips. Hey, bearded boy, how do you display your slabs? Can you show us? I don't really display a ton of slabs. I don't really have a ton of slabs. My super high-end slabs I don't even have in the house, but they got a ton of awesome cases you can get on like Amazon and stuff, and you can hang them up on the wall. There's a ton of options now. Next is from @Charming Discoveries. Do you think all celebration items are going to go up eventually, or only specific sealed items? I recently bought the Dark Sylveon V collection, wondering if I should keep it sealed. Thanks. Yes, keep it sealed, and I do think everything's going to go up. Probably not as crazy as the ETB and Pokemon Center ETB and the UPC, but these will definitely see an increase on the 30th anniversary. Next is from the Kevin Dub. Darth Beardius. I have always liked spreading out my collection between sealed slabs and singles, but lately I've been gravitating towards collecting more sealed products. My question is, do you think trading slabs and raw singles for sealed is a good idea? Yes, 100%. Yes, that's the smartest thing you can do, because cards will constantly go up and down, up and down. And last question is from a member at Chamaroboy. I probably butchered that. Hey, Lord Beard of all beards and ruler of mustaches. My question for you is, when going to sell sealed items, what site or app prices do you go off of that are more current and accurate? It seems like all sites and apps have different prices. Thank you, great sir. Keep up the great content. Yeah, the apps and stuff is kind of getting crazy right now, in my opinion. But if it's more modern stuff, TCG Player works totally fine. But if it's anything like mid-era or vintage, I'm not the biggest fan of just going off of, an app that says all these near mint prices, because all of those near mints, could not even be near mint. They could be lightly played. You never really know. So I like to see pictures. So honestly, I really like to go to eBay, go to the sold listings, and, actually see some really clean cards that are on auction. And then too, if it's like buy it now or best offer, you can go to 130 point and see what it actually sells for too. But yeah, I definitely need to see some pictures if we're talking expensive mid-era or vintage cards for sure. But otherwise, a lot of people use price charting or alt or, Collectr, Pokedata. There's so many apps out there right now. It's kind of crazy. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys do like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Market Monday, which was a wild one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.